you'll find that most people, including myself, that's what I discovered too, is that we keep repeating the same choices in our lives, in our relationships, in careers, and therefore the results and the emotions keep staying at the same level for the rest of our lives. So our emotional patterns or personalities are mostly a product of our environment, and I'm sure you would agree on that, including our family and friends' behavior, school education, media, social programming. Every book you read, or every book I read, every person we met, every song, every ad, every movie we saw has in one way or the other influenced our thinking and therefore our mental, emotional, and behavioral programming. So going back to the answer of how do you train your mind is I realized my personality was formed not really by my own choices, more by the influences that I had, my environment. So I realized that I'm not going to watch the movies that would promote negative feelings or suspicion of other people. I'm not going to watch so much news because really that was horrible. I was gravitated to news a lot in the period where I was unhappy. But I would instead go and watch sitcoms that would make me laugh, for example. So now I don't have to go for horror movies or anything of that sort. So even the books that promote faith in or positiveness in people and society are far more conducive to your own happiness and well-being than the books that would promote war or suspicion of a certain group or whatever it is that is negative. And most importantly, not only that, I found it's not enough to know something. It's enough to repeat it. Even in your choices of your friends, if you befriend people who are ambitious, most probably you're going to become ambitious too. If you would befriend people who are unhappy or who always find faults in things or other people, you're going to develop the same habits too. So it's associations. What do you expose yourself to? And then most importantly is the self-talk. We do amazing amount of self-talk, Amy and Bob, and I realized that by just noticing myself. So self-talk is even far more important of what you hear outside. So you've noticed yourself, if you made a mistake, what would you say to yourself? Or if you don't want to do something, you're probably saying, okay, is it fear-driven or is it heart-driven? And when you're going to do something, I'm going to do it or not do it? Is it because I'm driven by fear? What's driving me? So self-talk, what do I tell myself? Do I tell myself I'm going to be happy, or this world sucks, or people are not trustworthy, or this is hard, difficult, or I'm going to tell myself, no, this work is paying me money, it's allowing me to buy a good home. It's the same thing. The events are the same. It's just what do I tell myself, about the environment around me, and the people I connect to. So this is basically the training. It's a day training. So before you go to sleep, you would review your entire day in a positive light. And when you wake up, you can't wait to start the day, and you'd be grateful, the attitude of gratitude that you're even alive, for that matter. By the way, this is very important. There's a big difference between positive affirmation and the training I'm talking about. You can't lie to yourself. Even if you keep telling yourself, oh, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful, and you really don't believe yourself if you're beautiful, you're never going to feel happy, and you're never going to become beautiful. It has to be believable, and that comes from sound thinking. That comes from understanding and associating yourself and controlling the sources of your information. Because I have my favorite coaching phrase that I give executives is that wrong decisions are based either on lack of information or misinformation. Fair enough?
Great. I'm really amazed, actually. You and I have followed a very similar pathway, even to the extent of being introverted and growing on to becoming extroverted. I know in my case I had never been happy early on, but I always had optimism. And that was something that kept me going and wouldn't let me stop until I actually did find deep inner happiness that I had. I'm wondering